You ever notice how being strong isn't just something that you do? It's something people have begun to expect from you. Like they don't even ask anymore. They just assume you've got it.
It's crazy because you might start to realize this, but then you also still show up because you realize how important it is to have someone that is that person you can go to if you need some help. Usually has an answer, or usually can help you in your time of need, etc. You become that person for others, whether you want to or not, whether you're ready or not, whether you feel good or not about it, whether you're not going through your own issues at that time. What I need people to realize today and through today's video is that it's not just burnout from work or motherhood in life. This is emotional exhaustion. And it's very tiring. Sometimes you don't even know it. It's the exhaustion from carrying people who don't realize that you're running on fumes. And it's not necessarily their fault. They just don't know that you're going through that because you don't let on about it. And if you've ever thought to yourself, I just need a break. I need a break from all of this. I just need a break. For whatever reason, you don't take it because you don't want to let those people down. You want to be there for them, again, because you realize the importance. This video is for you. This video is for you. And today we're going to break down some steps to help you manage that, still meet those needs that you want to in life, but more importantly, meet yours first, because you want to come from an area of fullness, not one that's emotionally exhausted and empty.
You know how it starts, right? You show up for everyone, the kids, your spouse, your parents, your job, your people. And at first it feels really good. It feels like it's coming from this deep place of love. It feels like loyalty. It feels like I'm just being a good person. But somewhere along the way, your care turned into a silent contract of sorts. It was this agreement that you may have not been present for, that you're always going to be the one holding it down and putting it together and holding the emotional weight, even if it costs you your own peace. You feel it when you don't want to answer that text because you're spent and your mind is just gone, even though you're drowning too. When you're constantly available but never really present. That's another way it can look. Because your brain's juggling other people's issues at the same time it's trying to solve your own. So you really also think that you're being very helpful by being there, but when you've checked out, are you really being helpful? It's not just that you're tired, you're resentful now. Not because you don't love them. It's not about that. Let's take that off the table. We love and care for them. We'll do anything for them, put our lives on the line for them. But because somewhere your boundaries got replaced with guilt, you may not even know how. This is what emotional burnout looks like. It's not just a physical exhaustion. It's a soul level depletion. You're not just plain old overwhelmed, you're overcommitted and you're under supported. That's a big factor here. You're under supported. You're not even supported by yourself. We're not talking about miracle cures. We're talking about some tools to put in your toolbox to pull out. Hopefully it will help when it's needed. It has helped me. I want to share it with others. I hope and pray that it will help you as well. So let's get right into when is helping genuine and when is it value validation in disguise, right? That's a tough one. And it may not be one of those questions where you want to face the facts. But the truth is, helping is very beautiful. It's a blessing. It's a part of being a human. It's a part of being connected to others in society. But when the helping becomes your ticket to feeling worthy, that's when you've crossed your wires. That's when you've went too far. You're doing too much at that moment. You're not just helping. You're proving that you're good. Maybe you're a good person, that you're needed, that you're not a burden, that you're indispensable. And that's not generosity anymore. You've moved past that. You're basically coping. It's emotional perfectionism. Wearing pearls in a calm voice. EPP. Emotional perfectionism with pearls. You done with EPP? Nope, not me. And hopefully not you after today. What makes this so hard to see or to identify in your life? It's because, one, it doesn't look like what it is. It's people pleasing. It looks like being helpful. It sounds like, they're going through a lot. Let me go ahead and help them. Let me take this off their hands. I don't mind doing it. It's easier this way. All these things we like to tell ourselves to make ourselves feel like we're just doing this from the genuineness of our heart, which is probably started that way. And society rewarded you for that, especially women. You were praised for being, the fixer, the listener, the glue, the strong one. You come from this long lineage of women. They've always been helpers. They've always been there. But all the while inside, you're low-key hoping that your effort will earn you peace. That if you do just enough, no one will criticize you. No one will have to say you're not about it. They can't count on you. You don't rock the boat. You're kind. You're available when needed. That's not love, though. That's a performance. And it's exhausting. Who wants to perform all the time? Who wants to be on all the time? It's emotionally exhausting. So here's a checkpoint that we can use. So here's a checkpoint you can use to sort of help yourself gauge where you are. Ask yourself the next time you're tempted to jump in and help, if I said no right now and they were disappointed, am I going to still feel like a good person? If the answer is no, then you know that that's not a space of love. That's more so fear of that repercussion, fear of the results, the feedback. That's perfectionism. Again, hiding, sneaking into your life. Boundaries don't make you selfish. We need them. Okay? Boundaries are here to say, basically, I'm going to make you honest. I'm going to whisper to your nervous system, you don't have to earn your place by overfunctioning. You're allowed to rest without guilt. You're still good, even when you're unavailable. That's what boundaries are here to do. But you've been told that being helpful is a virtue, and it is a virtue, but it becomes your identity. So when it becomes your identity and it's about you being needed, replacing just you existing and contributing, that's when we have the problem. That's when your harmony is off. What you're not saying out loud is that people pleasing is often the trauma response that you were hoping that it wasn't. It's a habit you picked up when being yourself somehow felt unsafe or not safe enough to prevent the criticisms, etc. It's an emotional perfectionism that's wearing this face of kindness. You show up, you help, you smooth things over, you get your cape on, not always because you want to, but more so because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. And that's where the control can come in. If I don't, things will just fall apart. If I don't, this person will have no one. That's not peace. That's pressure. And we're not sure exactly where the pressure came from. It could have come from something in your childhood. It could have come from yourself, what you've adapted and what you've created for yourself, your self-pressures. But it's definitely not boundaries. Boundaries they're not just about saying no. They're about how your nervous system learns, I don't have to perform to belong anymore. I don't have to be on to be accepted and indispensable. How do we know when helping is no longer about care, but is more about the control? We need to be able to identify. So here's a one-line check-in. If I say no, do I feel guilty or do I feel free? Simple question. So the situation comes up, ask yourself that. So now if you feel guilty, you know it's not generosity. Think of it as a red flag because your brain remembers. Neuroscience tends to call that pattern encoding, I believe. It means that behaviors that once kept you safe, like over-giving, over-apologizing, over-accommodating, they got hardwired into your normal mechanism. So even when you're not in danger, your brain might still run the don't rock the boat, keep everything smooth script, and then you'll go right into muscle memory. So when you set a boundary, you can make your whole body tense up because it's an immediate sort of jarring situation opposite of what you're used to. You're used to this guarded state of being where in order to feel myself comfortable, calm, and at peace, I've got to make sure everyone else is okay. They can't be uncomfortable, okay? That's all within your body's memory. It holds this. So here's your pause and reflect moment, because we can't ingest all of this without reflecting on what should we do? What are our next steps? So ask yourself, where in my life does being helpful leave me feeling heavy and not whole? What moments in my past, maybe I thought I was being helpful, but I walked away really feeling more burdened? Write it down. Don't overthink this. It could be a small thing, something like you answered that text we were talking about earlier in the conversation out of obligation. You were spent, your mind was gone, or it could be something big, like you're always being the emotional landing pad, if you will, for others, but you don't have your own landing pad, actually. Then ask, what would it look like if I helped from a place of overflow as opposed to a place of depletion where I'm not proving myself? What would happen then? What would that look like? That's the shift we're talking about here, okay? We're not here for miracles. We want to create a shift, though, because shift can create momentum. It's not about you stopping your care, but we are talking about uncoupling your worth from your care. I'm not saying that that's easy. That's why we're going through this. That's why I provided you some steps and tools, because this is an ongoing process. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation. But if you become more aware, if you become more in tune with how you feel in those moments, the shift will occur, momentum will catch on, and you will get quicker and quicker in your response and how to deal with those things. It'll be from the correct space. I am okay. I am enough. And I'm sharing when I can share. And when I'm not, I'm still enough. And I'm still okay. And your loved ones will have to know that. You ever notice how the more you try to keep the peace, the less peace you have? You keep trying to capture it, but it keeps running away. You're managing their moods. You're smoothing all their edges. You're showing up even when your energy's shot or your mind is just not there. And deep down, you're hoping they'll see your sacrifice and give you what you're asking, what you've been too afraid to ask directly, which is consideration, reciprocation, safety. You're asking the wrong ones, and you're asking in the wrong direction. Here's what I've learned the hard way. If you have to abandon yourself to be accepted, it's not peace. Okay? It's more so a performance. You're on the stage and you're waiting for the applause. You were not created to be a performance piece. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You're allowed to be helpful and have boundaries. They can coexist. You are allowed to stop proving your value through emotional labor. Yes, I'm speaking to you. Because the truth is, you're not hard to love. You're tired of earning it. And that's where we're going to go next. What happens when the pressure to keep everyone else comfortable keeps you emotionally unsafe? Come back. Let's finish our conversation. Let's have some new ones. See you in the next one.